welcome back to the Bitter Betty podcast. I'm Bitter Betty Deadhead here with my two cohorts.
Bitter Betty Tova.
And Bitter Betty Carol, and that's with an E.
And we're here with Money Games. It's been highly requested and we're finally doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are.
So, uh
Whoa.
we all have the lyrics pulled up so we can read as we go. Y'all been telling us to do that with Ren's music, so we're listening.
Yeah. And I think this is an important song. And I love the fact that like it was in 2019 before all the crazy happened. I'm because I've technically heard this song already. I did a reaction to it, but my sound was messed up and I couldn't put it out. And so I've already heard the song and it was the best reaction I've ever done. I had so much to say. Uh but we're here now, we're going to all do it together, and so I'm interested to see what the other two are going to sound like and how they might change based on everything that's happened since pre Rona.
Yeah. All right, ladies, y'all
So
ready?
I'm ready, so let's see what we've got. Come on,
Let's
Ren.
go.
let's go.
It's a strange time we're living in. Bull can put fear in. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs through parliament interiors. Devils walk among us, they fit the criteria. Eerie theory, stripe fearing, weary minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose who's fooling who. A ball chained to your shoes, I'm pain. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets this whole world burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. But money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. His finger on the trigger of a money game.
Okay, so that's the first bit. I wanted to pause there before we get into
Yeah.
everything else. So let's kind of break that down. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty
Well,
self-explanatory.
yeah, I like this first part. I had the most I had to say comes is coming up. Because
Okay.
it deals more with immigration, which you and I are from Texas, and you're even
Right.
further towards the border than I am, and so we deal with that on a regular basis, especially what's going on now versus kind of where things were then. But I
Right.
think I know where he's coming through with it. But this first part I really do agree with. The
I do
hierarchy
too.
parties, they make us feel inferior. It does. All of our governments, right? Like
Mhm.
they become this power thing where it makes us feel like we don't have a choice in the matter. All these decisions are being made for us, and I don't feel like we ever have a say in it.
Right.
Well, and
100.
the line that gets me is where he says that devils walk among us, fit the criteria.
Yeah,
What is it? What is it? What is it? Eerie theories strike fear
yeah.
in minded
Yeah.
men.
Weary minded men because we're
Yeah.
query, and that makes me think of like conspiracy theories. People who like fear stuff, they have they believe in these conspiracy theories because I think it reinforces that fear or something. But weary minded men, so maybe like weak minded,
Yeah. Or,
you know.
yeah, I guess it depends on how you want to like interpret like weary. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Because when I think, well, I guess it just depends. Like, because mine's like a skeptical thing, right? Like,
yeah.
Well,
um,
see, the part that I think got me was money was invented for trade, but now those
Hmm.
bits of paper twist hearts, and it's so true. Like
Oh yeah,
I've
a
always
hundred
felt
percent.
that a child to a killer, his finger on the trigger of a money game. Like
Right.
yeah, yeah, because of
Yeah,
all
well,
the
it
things.
turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. Like it does. Money is the root of all evil. They
absolutely, it
say it,
is.
but it's so true. But it also makes the world go round.
Mhm.
So is it evil that's
Yeah,
making the world go round?
Well,
right.
money is the evil. I mean,
It is. I mean, because it will turn a good person into a bad person under the right circumstances. You
Yep.
know
yes.
what I mean? Desperation and desperation usually stems from some sort of a financial thing most of the
Struggle,
time, but
hardship, something.
any type of struggle you're going to come to is like money. Having not having enough money is absolutely probably one of the hardest struggles, because if you don't have money, you don't have anything, right? You don't have food, you know,
Right.
They don't have a
half the
house.
time you can't even have water, right? Like,
Yeah.
so and I understand where he's coming from with all of that, and the pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame. Like, everybody's always trying to, we have to make the money because that's what makes the world go around. It's like being on a hamster wheel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I'm interested to see what you ladies think of this next verse coming up, though.
Okay,
Okay.
let's go.
Oh, rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way, and those who rise to distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game. Stop. This old money game. Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate. When they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets, they say proudly through gritted teeth, it's my right to hate. That's freedom of speech. But when did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the murder like savages, colonized all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames, you denigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant. Cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent, I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome, and also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we made the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same. Old situations play on repeat, the same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak, our opinions aren't our own, and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right, in the middle we sleep.
Okay.
So
There's
right
a
off
lot
the bat,
there.
like there's a lot there, but that last line I love the most out of that whole thing.
There's
and
no left,
mainly
there's
because
no right, in the middle we sleep. Yeah.
right, because I feel like that's where like I am for like very much in the middle.
Me
You
too.
know what I mean? And
Me
I
too.
don't feel like there's really anything that represents me. And I think most of us who are just common sense regular people are in the middle. But I'm looking at this from it was in 2019, so before a lot of stuff happened. But we know what. So and when he says, "Dear Mr. President," obviously the UK does not. They have a king and a queen, whatever. I'm pretty sure he's talking about Donald Trump.
Yes.
Right?
I was thinking that.
Uh, Yes, and then and he's talking about the stuff that they were saying about immigration.
Yes.
But it's interesting to me the way he sees it from being from Wales, and then he's been in Canada for a little while. But like from people who live it, I don't
Yeah.
think what he was told about Donald Trump is not true.
Right. And now I kind of wanted to touch on that, actually. I was not going to talk on about Donald Trump, though. I was going to go with the immigration.
Well, that's what I mean. But like he's talking about the president saying that the
No, I understand
immigrants
that.
shouldn't come here, all that bullshit. But when they understand what immigration really is, and we're talking about illegal immigration.
Right. And I understand that. What I'm saying, though, is like when he says, yet still you spit your venom, demonizing
Demonizing immigrants. Yeah.
when really you're an immigrant, because all of us are immigrants. In which he's not wrong.
No,
He's not wrong.
absolutely not.
But you're right about illegal immigrants, because I can't go to Canada without some kind of
Papers.
papers,
Right.
but y'all can come over. Everybody can come over here, and y'all almost don't need nothing.
Right. And so,
And
this was
it's also
before they opened up the border,
right.
though. You know what I
And
mean? So I'm
also,
thinking
if you
about
pay
that too.
attention what's going on in Texas right now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's scary.
No, it is. It's 100% scary. Like, and I don't, a lot of people, they don't realize how massive Texas is at the same time, right? Like you can fit England alone into Texas like 5 times, right? The
Yeah,
size of it,
it's
5
huge.
times. Texas is huge. and for you who don't know, like it's like 16 hours across. Okay, so it's a big state, and we cover a lot of that. But like nobody was fighting against immigration. It was illegal immigration. A lot of our liberal news, mainstream media, twisted that around to make it seem like Donald Trump at the time did not want immigrants coming here. That but that's not what it was. It was about illegal immigrants. And oh, my headphones just died. Hold on.
Oh.
That was weird. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the thing about securing our border, which every country does, we are the only one with open borders the way we are, especially now. But illegal immigration is such a problem that a lot of the family thing, the being separated at the border, that's actually what woke me up in a lot of ways, because it wasn't about separating families. A lot of people don't know that those people are not always families. Human trafficking is huge at our southern border here in Texas. Like, it is a massive problem. And I know because there's been tons of like trafficking rings like exposed in my town, right?
Yeah,
in my city.
you got to be careful when you just go to Walmart, like here in Texas. You
Just because
a
man, yeah,
Do you know
because
it's
a
the
man shows
same
up
in
at the
Ohio
border,
too, right? You know, Ohio's one like in the top 10 for sex
right?
trafficking.
Yeah,
Like, well, in the U.S. in general, like it's disgusting, right? But like weren't separating families. They were confirming that the children with these adults were actually their children, and it disgusts me that the left would just pretend like that wasn't a thing. You know what I mean? And like, if anybody out there has watched The Sound of Freedom, that's what we're talking about.
yes.
That movie is tough to watch, but
I haven't watched it.
And so
I've watched it twice, once with a friend and once with my husband, and I almost couldn't get through it.
I can't
dude,
watch it.
it's very tough, but it's 100% like real life. And Donald Trump got a bad rap for that, because it was not, and like it was even with the like children and families in cages, or kids in cages, or whatever it was. Like those facilities were built under Obama. Obama built those, not Trump.
Right.
Okay. And like,
and maybe he's talking about Obama, but at the same time he said Mr. President, like he's talking about Trump. That's what it came off at.
Well, and it was in 2019, so that's what, and I know exactly what they were saying, about the immigration and stuff when it came to him. And so, but he is right. We are all immigrants. And that's what's beautiful about America, is we do want people to immigrate here. We encourage people to immigrate here legally. You do not, I wish I had videos to show some of the people like that are not from, the US, how crazy. I'm talking millions, like 22 million or something crazy like that in, I don't know, in the past few years. Like the illegal immigration right now is unreal.
And a lot of it is drug trafficking as well. Like there's some war stories I could tell y'all. But
dude, the
at
fentanyl
the same time,
is crazy.
I don't know if it's okay to talk about these on YouTube, so I need to be careful.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's when you don't live it, and a lot of immigrants go to different places, but it's just different with America. And so we're very passionate about that. We want people to come to America. We just want them to do it legally. And because a lot of, especially here in Texas and in the South, there's a lot of like farmlands and ranches and stuff, and a lot of immigrants are, even if they're illegal, a lot of them are coming over here for a better life, but they will work under the table for much less pay than American citizens will, because they send money back home where their money is not worth as much as ours, so they get much more for it, and they're taking away jobs. Like it's a compound. It's so nuanced that this seems like a view to me of someone who heard what was going on and then had an opinion about it. But I'm glad it also shows me that he loves everybody. Yeah. And Ren seems like a very sweet person, and he just doesn't want anybody to be like, hated on. And I think that's fantastic. And he says that with like, it's my right to hate, or talk about the freedom of speech.
Yeah.
It's my right to hate. That's freedom of speech. When freedom of speech become a reason to hate or make a racial slur, insult, we make.
I agree with him.
Yeah,
I
and I
agree
agree
with
with
you.
that too. And that's not what that's not the point of freedom of speech, though.
Mm-mm.
Is we do not 99% of us in America do not condone being racist or just hateful to like that, in any way to people, but being able to express your opinion freely without you know without getting in trouble for it or being censored, that's a problem when you're actually talking about facts and truth, or to say, like, I can say, if somebody says, like, I don't know, something about Donald Trump or whatever, and it can be taken down instantly, but you say it about somebody else and it doesn't, like, that's not freedom of speech.
Yep.
Being censored is not
Double
okay.
standards is not okay.
It is a double standard because it's like the other people can put hate on straight white males, on cis females, and shit like that, and that type of hate is okay, but it's not okay when it's on the other side, and that's my problem with that. Nobody should be hating anybody.
It's
We're
too
all
much
just human beings.
energy.
We can,
Just
well, we can hate
if you
the
focus, if you
the
took your energy,
traffickers and the murderers. We
and
can
if
hate
you
them.
took that energy that you have to hate and you focused it on something positive, just imagine how much better this world would be.
Oh, I know, for sure.
See,
um
now here's where I've been a bit quiet for the last couple
mhm,
minutes. You guys have been talking, and I think it's because um, back when this song came out,
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of the same types of opinions that Ren is expressing in this song. So,
yeah.
because I used to consider myself or aligned myself um, quite a bit differently, I definitely
Mm-hmm.
would say
Mhm,
now I'm more kind of in the middle of the road on how I think. There are some things that I'm quite liberal with the way I think, and there are some things that I'm quite conservative for how I think, which is why I would put myself in that middle range of,
Right.
where
mhm,
I fall. Um, but uh, like when it comes to immigration, I don't know with Ohio, like how much proof of like illegal immigration, right? Because I'm on the other side of the country pretty much
mhm.
from you guys. Um, but there is an awful lot of it immigration here in Ohio. So we definitely, at least where I live, which is more of central Ohio area, um,
Mhm.
definitely quite a melting pot here, as
Yeah.
far as different cultures, ethnicities, different things. And a lot of things I see on the news, or when you see things about hate, and we were talking about nobody should hate anybody, but like where I live, I don't experience a lot of that because
I don't either.
because there's so much multiculture where I'm at,
Mhm,
so sometimes I think it's a lack of either understanding or knowing.
mhm.
Like when I hear about it, I'm like, but I don't ever literally see it
Right.
Mm-hmm.
like happen in front of me. So um,
Yeah.
I'm
No,
going to be
well,
interested to definitely hear the rest of the song, just kind of see where he was at. Um,
yeah.
and
Well, and
then
that's why I'm so interested to see what the other two are about now that they're further along in kind of like since this song was made.
mhm.
Yeah, I am
Um,
too. I'm
but
invested.
and like you, Carol, like I grew up right next, like I live right next to an army base. Like we're super diverse here. Like, we're I didn't even know like racism was a problem in areas still because I don't experience that here. I've always had friends of every different ethnicity from every different culture. I've been to Native American celebrations and I've been to quinceañeras and barbecues and all of the things, right?
And
Like
I
I go, we do all the things. I didn't know it wasn't like that everywhere else.
and I
Yes,
live in a town. I live in a town that is deemed the most racist town in probably Texas. But it's
And
not.
you, oh wait, but you're not. You're outside of Houston.
Yeah, I live in close to Orange, Texas, like over there by the
Oh, okay.
border. Like I'm 20 minutes from Louisiana.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, yeah, like Mississippi, there's places in Mississippi that are like real,
Well,
like might as well just be back at Jim Crow.
this town has a bad reputation from way before I was even a thought.
Right.
And there was a dragging in Jasper. Y'all probably remember Jasper, Texas, that
Uh huh.
dragging. Well, people will sit there and blame my town for that dragging when it didn't even happen here. That's how
What?
bad. Yeah. CNN has done freaking reports to make us look even worse. Like we can't even get rid of that racist name because people will not let it go.
That's
I,
crazy.
I used to work at a convenience store, and
Yeah.
this lady came in the store, and she told me I mean she was shaking, she was so nervous, and I asked her, I said, "Are you okay?" And she's like, she goes, "I was always raised never to stop here." She goes, "But my tank was on empty and I had no choice." And she goes, "I'm scared to death." And I said, "Why are you scared?" It's like, ain't nothing gonna happen to you, sweetie. I mean, she told me that I gave her a newfound look on that town, but it's just
Yeah.
when you get a bad reputation, it's hard to get rid of it.
No, it really is. And it's hard to equate, like, once you've heard so many things, to find out that maybe
Hmm.
those things weren't 100% true, right? Like, I'm not
Right.
going to say they're all lies all the time, but I'm saying, like, a lot of it is manipulated to
Hmm.
make it sound a different way. They
Right.
Right.
they cut off speeches short, like the good people on both sides stuff in Charlottesville. Like, that was one of the biggest, like, that was the biggest media hoax that I've ever seen in my whole life, and that was what really really woke my ass up, is when I got into that. And that, we'll save that for another podcast
Yeah,
or
I
something.
think we
But
just went way off track, but
oh no, absolutely. Well, that's why I said, like, this one was going to take a while, because I had a lot to say about it.
yeah,
But I also don't hold it against Ren, because this is his view from his own experience. But it
right.
also shows me that he's a good person. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not mad. I'm not throwing any
No.
shade or anything. I just,
And
you know,
I'm okay with somebody having a different opinion than me. I can get over
yeah,
that.
I don't
An
care.
opinion's an opinion.
Absolutely.
I don't care if your
Yeah,
opinion's different. It's the way you present yourself with it. Like
Hmm.
yeah.
if you're gonna hate me because mine's different, that's when I have a problem.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and that goes back to the whole double standards and all of that.
Right.
But it's,
Absolutely.
yeah, so it's almost over and stuff, but I'm really excited to see the next two.
Yeah. So
So,
let's finish this one up and see what else we got to say.
Rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way. And those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we'd like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game. This whole money game. This old money game.
It's a very video.
yeah.
Okay.
Girl's face.
No, I mean,
You're like, wait, what? Yeah.
it kind
I
of
mean,
reminded
it's
me
he's
of
making a statement for
I
sure.
know, but it kind of reminded me of like of a movie, you know,
Mm.
were, I
Yeah.
guess, like a even maybe a cartel movie. You know,
Yeah.
that's what it kind of gave me vibes. That the video did.
The
Yeah.
video, I was lost. Like, especially at the, like, it didn't like I don't know why. Um, I liked the song, okay,
Yeah.
I
but
think I kind of understood the
I
video.
I think he was like portraying himself as maybe like the government or like the higher hierarchy, and the other person was kind of like your average
like you're
Joe.
the little person,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like it, like tell him when to stop, tell him when to start,
Hmm.
do
Like,
Yeah,
this, do
he's
that.
he's the
controlling it.
puppet master.
Yeah,
Ren was the
you
puppet
know.
master, and the other guy was the puppet.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then the pouring the gasoline, lighting himself on fire, like it's almost like eventually those people end up like
I always tell my son,
going up in
because
flames.
he's been learning a lot about, we've been talking to him a lot about, politicians and stuff like that, because he's at the age where he can vote now. Like, this is going to be his first year to vote, so we've been trying to tell him, do your research, don't do what
Mhm.
we do, you vote with your heart, how you feel is right, but I
Yeah,
told him, I said, but at the end of the day, they're all puppets. I said, there's only
yeah,
one that I don't believe is a puppet and ever will be a puppet.
yeah. Two wings of the same bird.
Yep, absolutely.
That's what it comes down to these days.
I just like politics in general, so
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, all
that was
right.
money
Well,
game number one, y'all.
yeah, sorry
yeah.
it's such a long video. There was a lot to discuss there in the middle.
There
Just
I
trying
was,
to
warned y'all. I warned
but
them. I told
but
you we were gonna have a conversation.
just because, okay, y'all, just because we reacted this way to this one, we've got two more left, and we're gonna have them all out this week. So just keep watching before you make your final decision on us.
Yeah. Well, no,
yeah,
it's like, but that's the beauty is we're all supposed to be allowed to have our own differing opinions, and our
absolutely.
opinion is just coming from a place of a different experience because we
Yes,
literally deal with it on a firsthand basis, on a daily basis, and we have for years. So, I mean, it's
Or
more personal to us,
my truth may not be your truth, right?
and
absolutely.
that's
So
okay. That's
yeah, and
perfectly fine.
so or what I view as something as factual, may not be something that seem at your view as factual,
And
right?
it
Like
would
so
be
that's what
boring,
conversations do, though. That's what
right? And
conversation.
it would be boring if we all had the same thoughts and the same feelings,
Well, then we'd
Right.
be robots, right? Then that's I
right?
feel like they're trying to achieve.
Oh
So,
yeah,
but anyways, definitely stay tuned for the next ones. We appreciate you guys being here, especially if you're here this long. We appreciate it.
yes,
And if you
Yes.
could please like, comment, and subscribe. Leave us some, more suggestions down below. We appreciate you guys in the comments. We do go in and we check them and we respond. So
Yep.
we do
yes.
appreciate that.
And Carol
This
actually
was
changed.
Ren.
Carol actually changed her name so y'all know that she's the Carol.
Yeah.
Yes, that it's
So
me.
if y'all
Aw.
see her commenting below, that's her. So
Heck yeah.
It's really me,
Carol with an E.
Carol
absolutely.
with an E. Yep.
All right,
All
guys.
right.
We'll see y'all in the
Awesome,
next
guys.
one. Peace.